Hey everyone, so it's Karthik with Money Vest. Sorry I disappeared there for a second. But anyway, so market's gonna open in about 3 minutes. We're gonna do a little bit of a longer live stream now since the market's gonna be open, and I kind of went away there for a second. We're back. Yes, we are. So I have my portfolio open as well. BITX, Ethereum, HIMS, IREN, Meta, NVIDIA, Oscar, Palantir, SoFi, and Tesla is rare. Open P&L sitting just over $105,000 as well. When nature calls, no, it wasn't nature. It wasn't nature, Dave. We'll talk after. But I just want the engagement to be a little bit higher. To be very honest, I was a little disappointed in the previous live stream because we had a couple strangers commenting some bullshit. And there's a lot of negativity from a couple people, complete strangers. And I want to be super respectful here to try to help as many people as possible, answer a lot of questions that you guys have. But yeah, to be honest, it was a little disappointing. But it is what it is. I have a thick skin, so I'm not going to get affected. But it's just so stupid stuff sometimes with people. But it's fine. So, all right. So coming back over to the market, just a couple more minutes. QQQ is up over 28 basis points. S&P 500 is up about 14, 15 basis points right now. And then we've got Meta slightly down. So I do have a 665 call, which I'm going to be deciding what to do with. Friday is the expiration. And then we've got NVIDIA slightly up over 12 basis points. Volatility is just over 5.7%. So yeah, I'm probably going to do that, Kevin, at some point because this is just stupid. But anyway, so to use margin when you're low on cash, I keep about 6 months of cash, but inflation is insane in my country. Also, what happened to Karthik? So someone was being mean to you? No, it's fine. I don't want to talk about it. But for when it comes to margin, you know what? We're going to just switch to private live streams now. We're just going to do it for members only, and we're going to do private live streams. That's it. I think today is the day I decide that we're just going to be doing private live streams. That's it. No public live streams anymore. And I'm going to make an official announcement and just tell everybody that there's no public live streams anymore. Just for members, just for private. That's it. So that's what we're going to do moving forward starting tomorrow. So when it comes to margin, I only trade cash, so I don't use any margin. As I said, the only time I would use margin is when the risk reward is so attractive that I just cannot not use margin. You know what I mean? So, but until then, it's always cash. I'm only selling options with cash as collateral. Very rarely would I use margin. And margins, as I've mentioned before, is just like using credit cards, right? In the right hands, they can be very, very strong if leveraged well. But in the wrong hands, it can be very disastrous, right? So anyway, markets are open. QQQ's trading up to 38, 39 basis points right now. We've got the S&P 500 up over 11 basis points, more or less flat. And we got Meta Platform slightly down about 67 basis points. NVIDIA is pushing up almost 1% at the moment. So portfolio is open, sitting at just over $108,000 in open P&L. $90,000 so far for year to date for this options specific portfolio. So that's where we are moving forward. Okay, Bitcoin sitting at just over 91,000 and Ethereum sitting at just over 3,100 right now. We're still in the context of a downtrend, so lower highs and lower lows, and resistance all the way up to as much as $3,500 for Ethereum. Moving forward, so that's going to be that resistance, and for Bitcoin, we are going to be sitting roughly around $93,000. No, it's all good, guys. It's all good. Just I didn't realize what that meant until after, and then it's just I feel like I'm very much past. We all are very much past that. We want to use this time because it's valuable for everyone, and I want to answer as many questions as possible. And the quality of those comments just dropped dramatically. And for me, it was like, it's just not worth it. This is not worth it, So I want to keep it very, very valuable for all of you and super knowledgeable, answering questions, insights, and definitely bouncing ideas off of each other. And it's just wasting time with all that. So anyway, yeah, so any questions, let me know. A couple more minutes, I'm here, and then I'm going to go back to trading. I think that's really where my focus is going to be, just trading a lot of options. That's it. So I'll do a lot of private live streams. I'll send over the link, Pratesh, in the Discord. I'll share the private link for the live streams. What's your opinion on Baba? Is it coming back? So let's take a look. I feel like Alibaba has very similar to PayPal. It's been consolidating sideways, and of course it had a huge rally, right? So 61%, but now it's been mostly trading sideways. Very, very strong support here inside this green rectangle, and resistance all the way up to 181, 182 is going to be that resistance. So that is going to be that level to watch for Alibaba. So a lot of consolidation sideways at that support of 150s. Resistance all the way up to 181, 182 for Alibaba. It wasn't my question. No, of course not. Of course not. Do you think we're in a bear market for crypto? So, well, I mean, bear market is anything over 20% down, right? So we are technically, yes, in a bear market, down over 27% from all-time highs. But this is very normal for crypto, right? What defines a bear market for equities may not define a bear market for cryptos, because just how volatile these two asset classes are. But for crypto, yes, on a technical sense, we are in a bear market, but this could also be, considered as very normal volatility and fluctuation for Bitcoin. It's in a downtrend, so lower highs and lower lows, coming up to that resistance, roughly around $93,000. And support level is going to stay put at 84K. Are you concerned about Japan's rate? They're projected to raise rates on the 18th. Yes, I think it could play a role in the markets, especially with the Federal Reserve decision coming in with a rate cut, and Japan is going to be raising interest rates. Yes, it could play a big role, but I think it's going to be more contained to cryptos than it is to equities. As I mentioned before, I think crypto is a little bit more over leveraged than equities this time around, which is one of the reasons why we're seeing a little bit of liquidation. In fact, significantly more liquidation in cryptos than we are seeing in equities. Yeah, Nebula, let's take a look at, is China still no touch for you personally? Yeah, I think there's a few companies that I had, like Neo was one of them, that I had to get out of it for a small loss. And then that's it. Like for China, there's a lot of undervalued opportunities, but with the regulatory oversight and a lot of other risks that are there, it is a market worth considering, but only a small percentage of your allocation, because for me, a lot of the leadership, a lot of the dominance is still coming from the US markets. I think that's where a lot of that growth is. Okay, coming back over to Nebula. So let's take a look. What is that stock? Yeah, what's the stock there for Nebula? More than happy to go over it. I'm thinking about CSP on a SoFi today, $26, but not sure to wait given the economic calendar this week. Yeah, I think SoFi $24 puts, in my opinion, are going to be much better than 26, unless, of course, you're okay holding and buying at $26. But I think $24 is going to be that very, very strong area of demand for SoFi. So that's a much stronger area of support there for SoFi, with a resistance all the way up to $30. Nebius, ISS, NBIS. Yeah, support level around $93, $94, all the way down to $87. So that's going to be that two support levels, resistance all the way up to 140 for Nebius moving forward. Anyway, so markets, Meta is moving up, 675. Looks like I'm going to have to roll my calls calls, not calls, not plural. I only have the one call on Meta. So this one is at 665, expiring in 4 days, which I will see if I want to roll this up to 670. I'll have to move it out a couple of weeks. And we got NVIDIA also moving 184, 185. So far, so good, as volatility is also on the rise here, up almost 7%, getting up to over 16.5. So that's going to be it for today, you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. We might still do public live streams every now and then, but for the most part, I'm going to try to stick to private live streams moving forward. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. Really appreciate you all. Take care. Have a great Monday morning, and I'll see you all